that played almost every single hero at TI, well, ours TI3, he was doing that. So he wouldn't really have a problem playing the Pugner, unless KOXY just doesn't feel comfortable on the Weaver today.
I'd imagine he does, though. Like, Weaver is a hero that is pretty, I don't want to say basic to play, but there's not a whole lot of outplay potential or things that you have to worry about. It's just knowing your Shukuchi timings and how to go in and out, and Ohio's immediately going to TP to this lane, which is really common just to get the ward down. Like, it absolutely secures you in the lane. Like, nobody's going to TP just to go for this for the D ward, right? Or to zone out the Beastmaster. And it also means that he can immediately join his team right after if he wants to.
Alright, well, it's game time. We had ourselves a quick pause, but the teams are settled, so let's get it underway. Game number 1 of this best-of-3 bronze match here at X Games with the JoinDOTA MLG Pro League Finals. It is going to be one hell of a game, hopefully. Madara, last time he played Jara, he went completely immortally godlike. And Fnatic will be trying to quell that as much as they possibly can. So the laning phase, you look to be right. It is going to be Mushi who's moving up to that safe lane as the Weaver. And you look towards KOXY moving down towards the mid. What are we looking for from KOXY? Like, is this the game where you say, I'm going to get a lot of farm in the mid, I should be looking to build into a mech? Is that the way to go, or is there a better and different option that Puckler could travel with, could use in this game?
Mech is okay. Force Staff is a really decent option as well, like one of those two items. I'd imagine if he does go for the mech, though, I'm not actually sure what type of boots you should get. Like, I think if you go mech, you might want to get arcanes, but if you're playing a mid Pugna and not a support one, then you might just go treads for the HP. Because if you're playing a core hero, you never want to just get bursted down immediately, and I feel like that's what's going to happen if he doesn't have more HP. I'd imagine at some point, though, he does grab a mech, like, especially if they just kind of want to snowball and run at them. And a large portion of that depends on whether or not Johnny's going to get a fast level 6 or not. Like, if Johnny and Kachik Imba do get fast level 6s, then they can get aggressive on the map and start to do stuff. But if London Conspiracy get aggressive in the first 5 to 10 minutes and get a start, then it's going to be a little bit hard for them to deathball.
Well, their timing could allow for it. Right now we're going to watch the runes being taken up. So it's the 100 runes going to go both to the Queen of Pain as well as the Pugna, who are the 2 mid solos. So everything's still even Stevens as far as the lanes will end up. And we will settle it in. So it is the Weaver of Mushi going up against Skylark's Clockwork. He's going to have a rough time with Johnny also being in this lane as the Disruptor. He's able to block in 2 creeps, but it's not really going to delay up the wave that much. In fact, Johnny's already switching it around, so the range creep remains at the back. The bottom lane will have Ohio as the Beastmaster going up against the core, which is Madara. He'll be babysat by this Lashrak. And towards the mid is KOXY versus Thug. It is the Pugna up against the Queen of Pain. And that leaves out 2 roamers, which is Spartan. He'll be the Tusker for London Conspiracy, and Kerchik. He will be the last one, the Lion for Fnatic.
Yeah, people are wondering why we're pronouncing his name slightly weird. That's actually how he told us to pronounce it. Like, yes. He was really specific. It was like, Kerchik Imba. I was like, okay, I don't want to say Kerchik anymore. There's been multiple variations of it. There was just descriptions of if his name actually meant chicken soup. That was one of the ones which came out to me last night. But yeah, but his name is actually Kerchik. There's always an R. I noticed that every single time. There's always the R sound. The leaner.
I'm sorry, the Australian accent is a beautiful thing, and we could all be pirates with the amount of R's that we use.
Alright, alright. So if it sounds like I'm pronouncing it slightly different than Toby, go by my pronunciation.
Or you could just enjoy life and not worry about the finer details of it all.
Dude, I want to get some dude's name right. Like, that's his gamer tag.
That's his identity. That's fair enough, Blotz. That's good.
Alright, so in this mid lane, Thug is getting zoned out, and KYXY actually has near perfect CS. He's 8 for 8, I believe. And you pretty much expect this because it is a Pugna mid. Like, he's just going to spam out the Queen of Pain. And this is why I thought it would be the Pugna mid instead of the Weaver, because I don't think a Weaver does this well.
Lashrak, gotta be careful here. That ball's slowing him down. It's only a level 1 axe, but if Ohio was able to get 2 more just basic attacks into him, he would have been in a little bit more trouble there trying to compete for the rune.
Yeah, and he actually, KYXY, even before he gets his bottle, manages to pick up that bounty rune at top, which really helps. And I like the way that he plays mid. He actually plays it really safe. Like, he never comes onto the low ground if he can help it. He plays the max distance game, and he's not even trying to passively harass. Like, he's just trying to trade farm as efficiently as possible, and you're seeing that payoff right now. Like, he's going to go for the blast right here. In mid, gets another 2 CS, starts walking up, and typically you'll see most mid laners kind of zone out with the creep wave if they're pushing up, but KYXY just immediately peels back.
Isn't this the time too when you should be pushing up? Like when you push it up, you should at least get one blast into the tower, or is it all about saving the mana?
I think you save the mana, because if you had full mana, then maybe. It's more just the fact that you're forcing the mid to be pressured, and it's hard for Thug to kind of contest. Like, most mid laners right now would be pushing and chasing with this creep wave, but all the point is for this Pugna right now is to trade farm. Like, it's really interesting to see how he plays that versus how I play it.
Well, for the moment, both teams just trying to make sure that their laning phase is in a wonderful position. There's been no roaming ganks at the moment. There was a moment where I thought maybe Tuskar would go for a bit of a wander, but currently it's only been for rune securing, that's all. This top lane Skylark hasn't really given an opportunity for the Disruptor to catch him out. It also requires levels on Johnny before he's capable of doing such a thing. You need to have Glimpse and Wall. Maybe just Glimpse would be enough to against the Clockwork, but you want to have level 2, potentially level 3 before you try and come in and try and kill that Clockwork out.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult for Mushi to pressure early on, because if the Clockwork just throws down the cogs in the middle, it's going to be hard for him to die.
Oops, KYXY. Doug didn't really want to use that Scream. He was in range of the Netherward. Took a large amount of damage, and KYXY is still able to bottle up that rune. So he managed to pick up a regeneration rune. All the damage that Thug did is for naught.
Yeah, and that's a pretty significant rune for him to get at this point. He's going to Scream right here, and I'd imagine Thug just goes back. Like, he's, I think, a little bit too low to go for it. Okay, so he's actually just going to stay in this lane, and KYXY is just wasting as much mana as he can. So Thug is still playing the deny game, and KYXY is throwing down every single ability that he can with that regen rune up.
Why not? When you got the mana, you may as well use it. And this was the time when LC wanted to try and find a kill. The snowball in is, well, I get to miss first blood in top lane. That's going to be the Clockwork going down to Mushi as well as Disruptor. We're off to a good start today, Blitz.
Oh, and in middle lane, this is kind of what I was worried about for Thug, but I don't know if Kuchikimba is going to have the angle. And he's only level 2, so that stun duration is going to be really short. But he does have boots, and he's actually walking all the way around. Okay. Oh, the courier actually...
I don't think it saw him. It's nighttime. The vision was too restricted. Oh, Slug would have been a lot more different with that courier movement, and now, okay, that's why I can see him, and you see Kuchikimba gets the stun to follow up will be the Hex, but a blink away, it didn't actually come in time, so the blink was possible, and now double TPs are arriving in. It's the Tuskar with the Iron Shards who cannot control the Lion, but he's going to snowball with a little bit of help. It's Leshrac looking for the stun, but that Netherwar still doing work, not to mention KYXY decrepifying, so they cannot attack into Lion, and KYXY almost isolating Spartan. The Lion's still going to go down. Looks like a Sonic Wave to finish the job there, or at least a Scream. It was actually the Sonic Wave that was
Spartan
used.
Actually dodges the blast as well, and at the same time Ohio goes down at bottom, and KYXY decreps him, and he's gonna miss the blast again!
Wow. With that, it's so slow when you decrepify, but still KYXY cannot hit these blasts.
Alright, that was really sick by Spartan. Like, he manages to dodge both of those, and they pick up the kill on the Lion. I really feel like Kuchikimba, though, he should have just gone for the Hex. Like, he has to know the level 1 stun. I think it's like 1.05 duration. It's 1.02. Like, it's some absurdly small timing where he has to hit. But if he manages to sack that, then KYXY will get the kill anyways, because the 2.5 seconds is long enough on the Hex for them to be able to do 114 damage, which is how much HP that Queen of Pain had. And so what should have been just a free kill in and out, I think he just went for a little bit too hard of a min-max, and Spartan even getting out of there is so huge for them.
Because this now means that, well, London Conspiracy, well, I'd say they're pulling up the advantage, and then I look at the gold graph and it looks completely different, where Fnatic actually have 1,700 gold. Where are they grabbing all of this money?
They just have better CS. Like, the Clockwork only has 3 CS right now, and so it's a little bit skewed. 1,500, though, isn't the biggest deal right now. The experience, I feel, in the early game matters more, and that's where London Conspiracy are ahead by a little bit.
We'll see if they can hold on to it for the moment as they group up again. Always got to keep your eyes peeled. Whenever London Conspiracy play this Tuskar, they always look for those snowballs into mid. But at the same time, the Observer Ward's down for KYXY, so he's fully seeing what LC have planned. He knows they're there, the rockets are well off target, and he's absolutely fine. And while this is going on, Mushi's actually switched lanes. So we've got the Weaver now down on bottom lane, combining up with the Disruptor, and this is giving space for the Lion. One, to get his level 6, so you have that burst damage for the rotation, but two, getting closer towards that Blink Dagger, so you have initiation beyond the Raw, or the counter initiation beyond the glimpse of Disruptor.
Yeah, they're making some mass pings at bottom lane, but Madara is pretty much zoned out as he's not really able to do too much, and I like his Magic Wand pickup. Like, there's a lot of spamming heroes on the other side, and it just feels like he values the stat points more than most players do. And this bottom lane, he's completely zoned out. Like, he doesn't even really want to show himself in case, and he's playing so far back to the tower, which I think is the smart play. Like, he just wants to make sure that he doesn't go down, and he's doing just fine in last hitting. Like, he still tops the board, and he's got a kill on top of that, so not falling behind whatsoever.
Oh, what a lucky time for Lion to get himself off the top lane, and also a good time for Beastmaster to throw down that Hawk, scouted out the fact that Tusker as well as Leshrac were coming in there. If they were maybe 30 seconds earlier, it would have still been nighttime, and the Hawk wouldn't have scouted them out. That they switched to the we switched to daytime, so the vision got a lot better for Fnatic.
Yeah, they're just immediately TPing to this bottom lane, realizing that that top one is fruitless. Like, it's actually not going to happen, and both Johnny and Kachikimba are in middle right now, and Thug isn't in the best position. Like, he's actually going to run all the way back. Yeah, he's fine. He's got treads on.
Oh, they found him. Is there an ice shard position he can get? There will be one over on the line. Lock him in. Johnny just TP's out, but the double stun, there's a small little gap around, and KYXY with a double damage rune as well as Netherward down. I'm not quite sure you really want to snowball yourself into this one, because Decrepify is available. The blast will hit on 3. That's enough damage for KYXY to get a return. The cooldown from Madara will ensure they can get a little bit more space to retreat out, so it just becomes a Leshrac for the Lion trade-off. But Mushi ran all the way from bottom lane to try and find this Gyro. The Rocket Barrage being completely wasted. Mushi was invis the entire time, and Gyro, the only option is to TP back out again. When he has those Scarab Beetles on him, he has to TP out. Yeah,
smart TP by him. You don't really lose anything because Mushi rotated at the same time, so smart play by him. I actually thought he was going to be just fine, and then the amount of damage that he fought, it was a little bit unreal, and he can't fight Mushi. Like, Mushi's always got the time-lapse available. He's got a Magic Wand. There's no way that he was going to be able to fight that, so he just goes to the safest option. Good kill for them, though. They break the smoke. Thug doesn't die. It's a little bit scary for me because the amount of damage the Nether Ward is doing to them is pretty absurdly high right now. Is he is going for that mech, and he actually went for the arcane boots, which I think you should do if you go for the mech, right? Like, it's probably more important that you guarantee get the mech off, and with the arcane boots you can pretty much just spam out whatever you want.
Here's a big question for you. Now, you were saying control of the Weaver isn't there for the Gyro. What is the game plan here for LC? Is it look for Scythe of Ice, because I'm seeing Quap building into the start of an Orchid? Unless she's considering drums in this game, it's more than likely going to be the Orchid. So how do you control the Weaver when you've also got to worry about the Nether Ward? So you can't just burst him down, because you could just be killing yourself at the same time.
They have a pretty mobile lineup right now, so dealing with the Nether Ward.
They found Mushi. Hook shot in. Snowball's going to come in, but Mushi time-lapses away. And also Shikuchi, the movement speed's way too far. And then no, he actually tracks him in with the ice shards. Mushi, he's still got himself another run. And while he's got 6-1 charges, so that may just be enough for him. He's up high. Another Shikuchi available. There was one illusion that was left behind. He'll get away. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, Thug's in a little bit of trouble. The stun, the raw, the greatest timing, but it's going to be enough. Mushi will still end up dying, but you trade the Queen of Pain for a Weaver at this point of the game.
You're really happy with that trade because Mushi, it's so hard for them to kill him, and they did it! So London Conspiracy pick up the kill on the hard lane, or on the hard carry, as Fnatic start to make their assault on this mid tower, and I don't know how successful this is going to be. KYXY is starting to run out of mana, and this push is starting to lose its steam, as he does decrypt the ward, but I don't know how much longer that's going to be up for.
It's getting taken out right now. They have vision at least behind the tower too, so Fnatic know what they can get away with. And KOXY does have arcane boots, so between them all, they can get a little bit of extra mana maybe to force the issue, but you're not going to secure the tower. You may end up losing half of the gold from the tower if it gets denied. So they decide it's not worth the risk, and Fnatic will back up into the jungle.
Man, London Conspiracy is the most confusing team, because against some teams they just, you know, they get 4 to 20 or 4 to 40 versus NIP, and then now they're playing Fnatic to a dead draw. I mean, these guys, it just seems like they play up to their competition right now.
It's crazy to think of their story so far. but it's still not over yet. Like, they've killed off Mushy once. That's one upside, but we're also looking at a Weaver who's only got treads as well as a Ring of Aquila. If he starts getting a defensive item on him, it will not be, I'm going to say as easy, but they still have to work so hard for it. But getting a kill on that Weaver is going to be very, very difficult, and he could just carry this entire game if they're not careful.
It took them so long to kill him the last time. Like, they just kept running him down with rocket barrages, and they actually did a really good job of spotting out where he was moving towards. So good job by them, and at bottom, Madara TP's down, realizing he doesn't want Mushi to just farm uncontested, and Mushi is falling behind in CS as the Pugna leapfrogs him with 81, but you expect this out of a Pugna because he can just consistently blast the mid lane. It's pretty much raising for him. Like, the cooldown on your Nether Blast is only 5 seconds. Like, it costs you nothing.
There's also the other upside too, where every blast the KOXY does into a tower is still going to give the injection of money into the Weaver, so his overall Fnatic is just boosting up in the cash. I'm watching over towards the Beastmaster too. Now, what do we want to see from Ohio? Is this one of these games where you think, okay, he's got down to courage. Does this mean you're looking to go in for Roshan with what you've got? Yeah. Do they have enough to kill Roshan with what they've got?
I think he's just a little bit too far behind to go for anything else. He's going for the Roche play, and on top of that, it's probably going to mean at some point a Solar Crest. I think it's just like I'm poor, what can I do to help my team out? It synergizes well with the Weaver Beetles, and it's just a good Roche tool if you're on the dire side. Plus you have Hawk Vision at all times, and they might actually catch Skanks here as Ohio's gonna run into him. The smoke does break, and he actually just manages to get away. Do they have vision on him? Yes, they do.
And they'll bring him back in range for the roar. You do have Kerchik close enough that he can go for the stun, but the snowball picks him up, and he actually held it. The stun. Finger of Death comes out, and they've got the kill on the track. With the disruptor rolling down, the hook shot will be coming in. Ohio's not a healthy man. He'll die in the tree lines, giving a double kill to Thug, while Mushi in the middle of this fight. KOXY drops down the ward, and now draining out the life from Gyrocop to Thug. He's trying to get rid of it out of the water. He's able to do so he can use his burst damage again. The Mushi, no, you can't keep doing this.
Don't go for this.
It's a 2-for-2 trade-off. Be content with a semi-even trade.
Yeah, that was actually such a huge sonic wave by the Queen of Pain. I think he actually landed 4. That's what that weird inaudible scream was. I was just really hyped that he actually hit the angle perfectly, and they maybe could have gone for more as Mushi didn't have the time-lapse and KYXY didn't have the Netherboard or the Decrep Pup, but I don't know if they wanted to go for that. Like, it's a little bit risky.
Well, they can at least go for the bottom tower. Easily done. Pugna will take the last hit. Weaver starting to build into what I would assume to be that Desolator for Mushi. Well, KOXY has 1300 gold plus the mech, so well, he picks up the Staff of Wizardry to start with. Is this when you look for the Necro books from the Pugna? Is that the way you try and win the fight? Or is it worth getting the Aghanim Scepter, which he used so well during their semi-final?
The Aghanim Scepter wouldn't be terrible, but there's so much burst damage on London Conspiracy that I don't know if it's worth it. And that's what the Aghanim Scepter on Pugna, if you play that medic role, it's not very useful if your team gets from 100 to 0 instantly.
Hook shot goes in, Skylark runs top of a high, but the shards push him out of the comms, and then you actually had Skylark isolated out by Johnny after he puts down the wall. He does have Glimpse of Marble, so Skylark's coming back into the stun with the roars. They ensure that clockwork drops. Fnatic just playing the range game, and LC not fully committing.
They can't really, and I'm a little bit surprised that Skylark decided to go for that, because Fnatic will always be able to choose where they fight because they have the Nether Ward, right? Like, as soon as London Conspiracy initiate, all KYXY has to do is throw down the Nether Ward at the same time.
KYXY is on the hunt. You'll see the T being out. Latrak can't do anything about it. Trying to drain the life out of him. Almost found that kill. It was the haste rune that made it so Latrak could never run away. The KYXY runs into the mid, throws out the blast, and that tower has to be fortified to defend from the damage. But this is still a 4 push from Fnatic, because Mushi's up on the top lane. He's continuously farming on the side. You've actually got Johnny, who's now moved down to the bottom lane looking for a denial on the bottom tower, able to do it underneath Madara's Gyrocopter and running well behind the tower. Now Madara is the one who's in trouble. He can get glimpsed a long way back here into KYXY, and he's going to have exactly that done to him. Underneath the tower, Decrepify, blast, drain. Madara, he has to walk away from Johnny. There's no other choice, but the wall's off cooldown in 1 second time, and he's going to get fingered down by the Lion. And that's a big kill for Fnatic. They're playing these lanes perfectly. The rotations are wonderful.
Yeah, I'm actually really surprised that Madara decided to go for that, because the Disruptor was by a tier 2 tower, and even though he didn't have mana, he has to anticipate that the Pugna or the Lion are going to TP, and then life becomes a little bit difficult there for him, but they do manage to get what was a free kill, and it looks like they're not going to be able to get both of the D wards off. I don't think they anticipated this Observer ward being up, and they actually just placed one of their own as he doesn't know about this, and the Pugna, yeah, he goes to the 4-step. Like, we called it at the beginning of the game, right? I don't know if I want to say we, but I knew he was going to go for the 4-step. In mid, Ketchik Imba, he's going to get gone on. There's an Orchid on him as well. The Clockwork Rocket's going to fly.
It's enough to allow the Orchid to pop him. Thug, though, is going to be really careful now. The Mushi arrives with a Desolator 18 minutes into the game. So we look at 2 cores getting their new items up and running. And that's the first reveal of Thug's Orchid. The timing's good. It's exactly what he wants. He's 5 for 1 as far as the KDA.
I think with how gold changed and how little you get off of neutral creeps and creeps, before I think the timing was like 15 minutes for Orchid Treads. But with how things have changed, I think 17 is really acceptable. Like, he's got a Null Talisman, a fully completed wand, which isn't typical, and so 17 minutes with all of this farm is perfectly fine for him, and he's going to be pretty satisfied. And Roshan is the attempt right now for Fnatic. They have so much negative armor.
LC can't really stop this. Chara's TP's on cooldown for 25 seconds, so he can't even TP into the tier 2 tower. He has to walk past the tier 1 tower of the Radiant side, but as you said, with the negative armor, with both the Medallion as well as that Desolator, they're coming in close, but Roshan down to 400, hookshot in, Skylark trying to actually contest this, killed by the Dire, and Weaver does get the Aegis Immortal. Skylark's going to die inside the pit. The Shards who control him, and Johnny is a sacrifice for the greater good. They ensure little Strikers down. Mushy have a Tyrant to the damage. The cooldown's there. Snowballing in. Mushy's so low. They haven't finished the job, and they can't do so. The only hero left for LC is going to be this Queen of Pain. Turns for the Sonic Wave. He'll break the Aegis Immortal over on Mushy, but that does mean now the Weaver's back to life again. He'll get away to safety, but a good fight there for Fnatic. It could have been a lot worse though.
Yeah, 4 for 2. And Fnatic were so low, but London Conspiracy, their team fight isn't actually the best when they approach so fragmented. Like, Thug couldn't really initiate in like that because the Nether Ward was dropped, so he had to create a little bit of distance, and it just looked like they were not really on the same page as the Clockwork goes in, but there's no real follow-up. They're a little bit too afraid of the Nether Ward.
Yep. Maybe they won't be once this Queen of Pain finishes up at BKB. She's sitting at 3,000 gold when you go 7-1 with over 110 CS. There's a lot of money coming into this Queen of Pain.
Yeah, and they are going to go for the stack here, I think.
They've got to realize this Observer Ward's been down for a while. Because they attempted to stack it previously.
No, there was a sentry there first.
Oh, there was? Okay.
Yeah, so you don't anticipate the sentry and the Observer Ward falling down at the same time. And this is just a smart move by Fnatic because they're just trying to delay the stacks.
There's no easy way for the Gyro to catch up in farm. I say catch up or get ahead in farm.
Yeah, net worth. The Queen of Pain still leads.
No. They threw down 2 sentries to try and get rid of that Dire Observer Ward. There's miscommunication coming out from LC. And because of this Dire Observer Ward's going to remain up for another 3 minutes.
They know it's there, but they just aren't quite certain where it is, and that's a pretty big resource losses. That's 200 gold down the drain for them, as they're unable to find that one Observer Ward, which only costs 75, and Fnatic are making their push at top. They don't have KYXY with him, but I don't think it matters too much. He sells... No, he just dropped his boots and got the soul position.
They see Spartan, they come in close, the roar of the sun. He is dead even before you can count a second on your clock.
And the Leshrac is pushing out top, but is unable to get anything more than that. And Fnatic, I mean, they've got control of this game right now. KYXY is so tanky, and Thug looks like he wants to go for this once he has his ultimate up in 3 seconds. KYXY,
is it going to be enough?
I think so. He's level 15. Like, it's going to be really close. No, he doesn't want to do this.
He may not also be sure like where the rest of Fnatic are. Like, a couple shot themselves on top. No, they blink, hookshot in, but the Disruptor only perfect on the Queen of Pain. He can't go for the Sonic Wave. Even Skylark getting glimpsed away, so they cannot keep their damage on the front lines. And now with the bugs, Mushy too deep. He gets pumped out, and that's from the Walrus Punch. And they're going to lose 3 heroes in Fnatic. That's a big misplay by Fnatic.
Yeah, I thought for a second the Queen of Pain was insane, and she goes in, but she just soaks up so much damage. That was a selfless play. That was something I would not do, but he trusted that his team would be able to at least mop it up, and they're able to get 3 on top of getting Mushi, who I thought was going to be really unkillable this game, but they just synergize so well in their abilities. Like, they throw down the hook shot, they throw down the Walrus Punch at the same time as the Leshrac stun falls on top of him, and this is the issue with going for the Deso first, but Mushi is going to rectify that by going for the BKB now.
Yeah, it's just the transition. You take the risk, you got to play a little bit more cautiously, but well, she just got out of position. One big thing for Fnatic was at least they didn't lose the Beastmaster. He was the man that just recently purchased the gem, so if they lost a gem, and your Weaver is never going to be able to move freely around inside of that Shukuchi.
Yeah, and London Conspiracy kind of holding ground right now. The Pugna is at the top of the net worth chart, but you expect that out of heroes that pretty much exist to spam, right? Like, that's what Pugna does. He's always going to lead the net worth chart. It's kind of like playing against a Shadow Fiend. It's like the same concept. You just flash farm so quickly, and he's going for the Bloodstone right now, which I agree with. Like, if you're going to play the medic role for a hero like Mushi, for example, you need a high base HP to work with.
Fnatic gonna cross the river, coming into the Radiant side of the territory. And London Conspiracy are fully ready for them. They don't have any kind of vision, which is why now they're throwing out rockets, trying to see across the map and through their own jungle. As Fnatic with the Hawk, as well as the Observer Ward, which is down, seeing Leshrac perfectly, and now they can actually get the D-Ward, but I don't think Leshrac came up high enough to see it. Yeah, now he will. Oh, there's a fresh Observer Ward as well that Fnatic will lose.
There's a 4-man smoke now after the D-Ward, which is a smart attempt. Ohio's got a gem on top of him as well, so they are going to try to invade the jungle and look for some pickoffs. They know that the Queen of Pain is completely alone at bottom. I don't know if they think they're actually going to get this.
It's space creation. Like, if they find a kill, fantastic. If they don't, then Mushi pushes into the tier 2 tower, or they take the tier 2 tower on the bottom lane. And in fact, Mushi just TP's down, and Thug, well, he's finished his BKB as TP available, and they come in for the tree line. The Hex to start with. This means he won't be able to blink into the tree lines. They can't commit the roar as well, and they don't even need to.
Yeah, this is so unfortunate because he thought that Mushi was at top, and he's like, why is Mushi pushing so aggressively at top by himself? There's no way he'd be able to do that. So he presumed that everybody was behind him, because they went for the D-Ward at top, right? So they just assume, okay, they're probably waiting in this area by the secret shop. Let's just kind of play and push down bottom and force somebody to come back. But Mushi does a good job of not showing himself until the last second.
And terrific play from Fnatic again. Playing not that far ahead, however. We hit 24 minutes in, it's only 1,000 experience advantage going the way of Fnatic and 3,000 on the gold, so this is still anyone's game. LC just have to try and stay strong. Their Queen of Pain as well as their Jara still do a lot of lifting here. And that Weaver isn't immortal yet. The BKB is coming out, that will make life difficult, but they're making the most out of it. They force out the top tower. There's no points up an Edict on the Leshrac, so the push isn't really that quick. Not compared to someone who's got a Desolator like Mushi. He'll just rip apart this tier 2 tower.
And this is not going to be an efficient trade for London Conspiracy, because I don't even think they can get that
mass TP in. Hookshot goes on Mushi. He triggers the BKB, finishes the tower, and now moves over. Searching for Skylark. Doesn't really want to battle into this, however. It's just an escape mechanism for him. But that's the first 10-second BKB going down, but it ensures the tower drops.
Mushi's going to get out as well. Thug went for the chase initially, but realized that it was going to be pretty fruitless. And the Leshrac throws down the Sentry Ward, hoping to find something, unable to do so. And Fnatic get a tier 2 tower for more or less nothing.
Yeah. And they just stand on to the next tier items. You've already got the Pugna. As we said before, he got the Force Staff. He's finished the Bloodstone. He's got the mech 25 minutes in, and already has a point booster over on the Courier. So, in fact, he's going to just lose the bottle and put the point booster on himself. So this Pugna's getting very close to an Aghanim Scepter upgrade. He is the highest net worth on the field. And how's that Beastmaster looking? He also completed a Force Staff. So they're really just kiting out this Clockwork when he initiates in. And Clockwork's not really that tanky yet. Like, he's hit level 11, fantastic. But he's got Blade Mail and Tranquil Boots with a Stout Shield. 2,000 gold in the bank, but that's still money. It doesn't mean he's got something during the fight.
Yeah, he's going to need a minimum of maybe, I'd say, a Force Staff. Like, he doesn't want to be trapped in with Mushi. Because, yeah, you've got a Blade Mail, but Mushi has a BKB. The Pugna has so much HP to work with, and he's got a Force Staff. Like, there's 2 Force Staffs on the side of Fnatic. The Clockwork's gonna have diminishing returns at this point as an offlaner. Like, for example, the Beastmaster will always have the Roar, and he's got the Gem and the Hawk combination, so warding is gonna be really difficult for London Conspiracy. But if you're kind of far behind and you can't really initiate on Fnatic's heroes unless they're really spread apart, because they're just going to throw down the Nether Ward, and they have better heroes at kiting than you do. Like, Mushi's got a BKB, and he's a Weaver. You've got a Force Staff on KY, XY, and the Beastmaster, which I think is a smart choice, and a Blink Dagger on the Lion. Like, they can just engage and disengage really quickly.
Well, let's see if Fnatic want to engage. The tier 2 towers coming under threat from the LC lineup. They're bringing everyone up into the jump in. The Netherward's already down for KOXY. You got Orchid up, but that means Stuck's got nothing left. He doesn't have life. Blinks himself away to save it, but it was Mushy. The Glimpse is going to bring back. No, he has to trigger the BKB, the Gyrocopter with a call out. So going to get Rawn. They protect him inside the Snowball. Beastmaster down for the count line as well. KOXY still standing his ground, but Madara is just doing work as that Gyrocopter. Now Skylark might be able to finish the job as well as Stun. They're actually going to kill off Mushy, who is a secondary Orchid. And now Spartan, I don't know, but KYXY can at least kill off this Queen of Pain in the end. The shots come in, and KYXY's in trouble. Oh, there goes your blast. You again use this Snowball to avoid the damage from Fnatic, and they will take this tier 2 tower. London Conspiracy, a terrific team fight.
I have no idea what just happened, because I saw like a 10 HP Queen of Pain, a Gyrocopter that immediately went down, and all of a sudden, through all of it, Fnatic are down with 5, and LC only lose their 2 cores, and I still don't really comprehend what just happened. I thought that was the perfect fight for Fnatic. It looked like London Conspiracy overcommitted. Yeah, the ward was down, and the heroes that were meant to be alive were alive, but Thug with the beautiful play going back in for the Weaver with just 300 HP, and this guy has played so selflessly. Like, as a mid player, you typically want to be, you know, last one in, first one out, but every single time he's thrown his body in and said, I'll get the Orchid off, don't worry.
And he made so much space. The fact that Fnatic thought they had the Gyrocopter, they all ran in expecting the Glimpse to come back, and then all of a sudden that BKB of Gyrocopter kicked in. The cooldown was right on top of Fnatic, and he turned on the flat cannon at the end. That's where the extra damage was coming from. This fight managed to last so long that a 30-second cooldown timer on the Gyrocopter, like the flat cannon started it, and he came back in and did it again. And it was the same thing for the Orchid. That's only 18 seconds on the cooldown, but you had double silences during that engagement.
And I think Thug has to go for the Shiva's guard. I think he's starting to realize that his armor is a major liability, and both of these supports after that fight are so farm. Like, Skanks manages to finish up the entire Glimmer Cape, and he had like 2.2k after that fight. The Tuskar, or Tusk, who was so underfarmed after that, before that, has the Blink Dagger, and then SNY is completed on Madara. And just a beautiful fight for London Conspiracy as they go for the 5-man smoke gank, but I think they know they want to try to contest this Roshan, but Fnatic are just in a really good position right now. But they are fragmented as KYXY is completely alone.
Yep, there's your blinking, goes for the Laura's Punch, 4-star found, but they isolate Johnny with a good hook shot in. He'll still get the ulti off as well as the wall, but they just snowball straight through it. In for KYXY, Sonic Wave from Pug, the BKBs are protecting them. Pugna will buy back in, he's TPing into the T1 tower.
So low.
They really want this fight, but Mushi, you're right, he's able to time lapse back out, but the Raw comes in. Perfect timing from Ohio, and now Madara and as well as Spartan, they are too far up here. Madara into the tree line, he knows he's dead, but then again, TP out. Nah, the stun's available. They can stop him now. It was Kerchin going again, Spartan trapped on the high ground, and Mushy with a triple kill, and not to mention Roshan is up. They can take the Aegis, the Immortal as well.
Alright, so there was like a 5-man fight wipe for Fnatic, and now they just 4-man wipe London Conspiracy. KYXY went for the buyback, doesn't even want to wait for the Bloodstone cooldown, and that's what was able to turn the fight. This is what the dire advantage really is about, is that if you decide to go into a Roche fight, you always have to anticipate the buybacks and being able to TP to these tier 2s and these tier 1s. Like, the fact that this mid-tier 1 is still alive made it so easy for KYXY to make that buyback call. Like, you would do that every single time to turn that fight.
Oh yeah. It doesn't even matter about his sacrifice, he's so up, he's fine. They go for more. His Aghanim Scepter is still being delayed up a little bit because of it, but that's perfectly alright as far as sacrifices go. And Fnatic, so many of these late Vladimir's offering pickups keep coming in throughout this tournament. Like plus 30-minute Vlads, just when you feel like you just need that extra oomph to get up on the high ground.
It's just a decent armor item. It helps if you're not really sure what you're gonna get and you need something to build into. Like, it's still armor, right? Like, it does help out. It does help your team. He's not, the Beastmaster, for example, isn't gonna finish a Necrobook 3 anytime soon, and it's so optimistic to save for it. So why not just get items that'll help your team overall right now?
Just want to flag one other thing that happened during that team fight. The fact that Fnatic killed off the gem carrier for LC. That was initially Fnatic's gem, which was stolen during the full team wipe on top lane, and they managed to get it back into their hands. So Ohio is back on the job of getting rid of this vision from LC.
And the experience is now in favor of Fnatic. The gold net worth lead, though, that London Conspiracy briefly had now goes the way of Fnatic as well. That's 3,000 gold, not too big of a deal. I'd worry a little bit more about the experience, but as we saw at that top fight, it doesn't take much for things to turn around.
No, it does not. They just need a small opening. It's a very, very tight game still. What are we looking at next? So if we finish the SMY drums as well as BKB over on the gyro, he's going to need a little bit more time before he gets money to pick up the next item, but we've got a Blink Dagger over on Tusker. So the jump into Walrus Punch, which is huge for the Tusker, is now available. And they've got the Shrek. He managed to pick up a Glimmer Cape, still walking around with another 1,100 gold. And the Queen of Pain is building into her Aghanim Scepter, another 1,500 before she'll have that.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised by her decision to go for, actually, no, I'm not at all. Like, it's either that or the Shiva's Guard, but the Shivas can wait. Going for the Aghanims really helps. Just with the cooldown alone makes it probably worth it. And it does give you a little bit more damage. And
are you still worried about the Nether Ward? Was that your initial concern?
No, I'm worried about the fact that Mushi does 1 billion damage.
Blink Dagger, stun, follow up here by Kerching. Ohio's got the extra raw. Do they have enough damage to kill him? No, Thug's gonna arrive. The Sonic Wave connects on too. That Orchid Pop should be enough. The cooldown, trying to ensure it wasn't actually enough. Kerching's gonna get himself away here. Mushi in the neighborhood, and they don't find Thug. He blinked himself down to the tree line. An engagement where there are no casualties of war.
There was a BKB popped on both sides, I imagine. Yes. So 7 seconds left on Madara and 7 seconds left on Thug. And if we take a look at Weavers, a 7-second BKB for him, yeah. Like, once he gets the 5-second BKB, it's kind of useless. What London Conspiracy have to focus on, though, is if Mushi manages to get that second life off, the time-lapse, they can't really win the fight. Like, as we saw, he got so low, he really played with fire there. And they all end him, they weren't able to kill him, he gets the time-lapse off, a full HP Weaver comes in, they can't go for it again. Yep. They have to somehow, like that top fight, the reason why it went so well is they were able to immediately blow him up before the time-lapse happened. And so they need that to happen again if they're going to stand any chance, but this time he's got the Aegis as well.
And he's going to have a Monkey King flying on the courier, so the damage is amplified. The Aghanim Scepter's up for KYXY, so look for the medic. Even if Mushi gets in trouble, KYXY could just do exactly what he just did then, push the life into Mushi.
Yeah, 2100 HP on that Pugna. He's got plenty to work with that life drain, and I mean, it seems like this is their kind of go-to strategy. They've got a medic behind Mushi at every single game, and they're now pushing down the Swive in the mid lane.
Mushi would love to kill off that Sigil. He's got it too. So the Sigil getting just ticked out there by Mushi.
I think if you're a London Conspiracy, you have to isolate KYXY first. And just slow things down for as long as you can. Like, you have to pretty much trade towers for time.
How do you isolate a hero when you have a Weaver attacking your tower from here, and you got KYXY all the way back here pumping life into him? If you go up, then Mushi's got time to probably remove half your life before you even reach the Pugna to do something about it.
They've got ways. They pretty much have to wait for this Aegis to fade first, though. Like, they threw down the call down, but it's got such a low cooldown that it doesn't really matter. Like, they're just trying to buy time as much as they can.
Aegis has gone in 20 seconds.
Yeah, like, you give up that tier 2 every single time. There's no reason to fight into 2 lives. And Thug is looking for it right now, but he's gonna get initiated on!
Wow, and they're gonna go even deeper with this Spartan movement towards the front line. Sweet Mushi, he's just chasing after that Tusker. He's accepted the fact the line's gonna die. Aegis is shotted in, he can't get out. He's able to just Shikuchi himself away, or can he walk up Mirage? It's ripping him apart! He can't even turn on him! Wow, that Lotus Orb protecting as well. He couldn't even turn onto the Gyrocopter.
That was the most unfortunate Aegis fade timing of all time. Like, he probably thought for half a second longer that he had it, realized his mistake, goes for the BKB a little bit too late. And that's the other thing, is that he did pop the BKB, and that's a 7-second charge that's gone now. He's all the way down to 6. And I was wondering how they were going to be able to kill the Weaver, and they continue to kill the Weaver.
They still have a long way to go. These kills are fantastic, but what happens after they get the kill? LC get control of their lanes back, but they haven't really pushed to the other side and really been threatening on Fnatic's side of the map. That still hasn't been the case yet.
I think you finally go for this tier 1 tower mid. You don't want... Mushi's probably not going to buy back for this, if he even could. Yeah, like, he's got buyback, but I don't think that he goes for this, because if they lost Mushi, the game just ends. Like, they could just push in to the mid lane and they couldn't really fight, so... Finally take control of this mid tower. It's a free tower. You should be able to take it down. It's the easiest objective to go for. That's some free gold going the way of London Conspiracy, and they are down in net worth still, and the experience is still around 5k for both, but you're in a much better position than you were 3 minutes ago.
Oh yeah. Because now they've got options, and now they've also got Fnatic thinking, oh crap, this Weaver is not surviving as much, and Mushi did go for the greedy build. Like, you've got yourself a Desolator and a Monkey King bar over on this Weaver. There's not a lot of stats behind him. There's, like, how is he meant to survive during the fights when you've only got 1300, now 1500 when he switches over to the Strength Treads? Yep, they're coming down further, and it's all for the Tusker. They'll drain him out, and the line will ensure the kill.
Bloodstone charges. This makes killing supports worth it every time. Like, just going for Bloodstone charges is fine. It doesn't seem like much, but it does help.
Is it worth it for Fnatic just to keep on hunting the kills, or should they think about going high ground, knowing you got the Pugna, knowing you can have the chip damage?
There's no way that you need to go for high ground right now, unless you go for pickoffs first. Like, if you can pick off Madara, then you go for the high ground push to force out the buyback, but typically you'll just wait out the Aegis.
They're running after him. Mushi's on the top lane, almost looks like bait. Gets the BKB off in time,
right now.
and Madara, he has to run away, forced off into the Raw. They control the Gyrocopter, and even then Kerchik, even deeper, controls the Queen of Pain. They perfectly time their stuns, multitasking them over the two cores of LC, and this will now be a tier 2 tower.
And KYXY just kind of, that looks so weird. Like, he's healing people for like 10 health, and he's actually just giving them mana back. Like, he's healing off of the creeps and then giving his team mana, because I think that's what happens, right?
Yes.
Once you're at full HP, yeah.
Once you're full HP, you then start giving mana.
And I'm surprised that London Conspiracy decided to go for that. Like, they didn't see anybody on Fnatic on the map. They might have thought they were still looking for kills, but you have to presume that somebody's there.
Shot in. Skylark going in for KOXY, but they just forced off him out. Spartan couldn't get the initiation on Mushi either. So Mushi just backs up a little bit more. They trigger off the mech charge. But that tier 3 tower's down to 300 life. The Gyrocopter is back into the world they're living, with the buyback being put onto cooldown. And that's so worth it for Fnatic. They don't even need to take out the tier 3 tower at the moment. All they have to do is just move back, farm up again, and get ready to enter again.
And this is what I was talking about. Like, you don't have to go for the high ground. You just kind of fake pressure, force the buyback out, and get away. Like, if you get the tower, great. If you don't, you're still dire and you've got the Roshan advantage, which is really important, right?
It's like Roshan too.
Yeah, why force it when you always know that you'll have the better Rosh, right? Like, look at the buybacks on Fnatic. Mushi's got buyback. The Pugna's got buyback as well. Actually, he's 200.
He's just short. Just short. But once they bring down Roshan, it won't really matter. The Rockets are scouting out from the clockwork that is going on, and already LC, they're moving over. But at the same time, Fnatic, they're not ready to fight this. The sentry wards are down, and Kerchik should be really careful about this. Mushi even steals the bounty rune from underneath their noses, and they know it. They know someone's there, but he's not in range of the sentry. That green line is your indicator right there in Ohio. 4 staffs up. LC, they're wondering where Fnatic are, but they're just playing the perfect position game.
Fnatic can just kind of wait things out because they are dire. Eventually, it will be time inefficient for London Conspiracy to stay, and that's a smoke that was blown for that. And London Conspiracy has to go for that, and Fnatic know about that. Like, if you're Fnatic, you just say, okay, we just wait things out. We have dire advantage. We'll have like 7 lives for this Rosh fight. That'll probably determine the game, right? If Madara dies and they get the Aegis, the game pretty much ends. Like, they have so much damage for the towers alone, and Fnatic just have to play the waiting game right now.
Well, they're fine with that. Mushi's choice with a heart. He's only going to be just under 1,000 gold away from completing that.
He's just waiting for buyback.
Yep. Actually, is he waiting for buyback? Does he have the other parts already?
I think he just bought one part because it's the thing that won't cost you anything, and then you just save for buyback if you can, and now they're going to make the Rosh attempt. They've got so much negative armor right now, and Mushi's being healed up by KYXY from the high ground.
Doesn't even need to be in the pit to help out. But the ping came out from Tusker saying, yo, this guy's over here. Send the Sigil up. KOXY 4-star down. The Cripple Fire over on the Gyro so it can't quickly attack. Little Shrek's already been popped out by the Weaver. But where's the extra help? Now it comes in with the form of the Snowball into Ohio's. The Beastmaster will drop a Mushy. Picks up a double kill. Taking out the Clockwork and the follow-up son with a Finger of Death. Madara's in so much trouble. Dead to the world. Mushy even thinking about going for Thug. Got to mock a King Guard charge on the stun too. The Kerchik moving away from Lashrak. It's currently 2 down for LC. Fnatic with one on the sidelines. They're going to go even further. The Shards controlling him in, but he had a Nether Ward behind the rest of Fnatic. And KOXY instantly repaired all the damage online anyway. The Roshan is still up, and Fnatic aren't going for it. They're back to farming. KOXY's going to take care of the top lane.
The thing about playing as a support in this game as London Conspiracy, it's so hard to survive against that mobile carry, against that Weaver. You can't really cast any spells either because the Pugna ward is almost entirely down for the entire fight. And it's just, there's not many angles that London Conspiracy can approach for. Like, this is one of the hard parts about playing against the Dire side. When there is Roshan available, like, Fnatic have the upper hand in terms of positioning. Like, they can choose where they want to fight and how they want to fight, because they're always playing on their side of the map.
And this game's getting out of control for LC. If you check out the graphs, it's over 10k. In fact, it's almost reaching 14,000 the net worth for Fnatic as well as the experience too. So LC, they know they're fighting the time. They have to be able to contest this. Clockwork, hookshot, but they got no gyrocopter. Is it even worth trying to contest this? You could lose out so big if you do go in for the hookshot. But Snowball, it's up. They need some vision inside the pit for this to work. Now, in comes your Snowball. Goes for KOXY. Roshan so low. Who's trying to take this? Dire, but Weaver takes it again. Spartan's going to die inside the pit. The Clockwork didn't hookshot in. There was a semi-attempt there from the Tusker to get the steal, but Fnatic secure it.
He actually got the cheese.
Oh, he actually picked up the cheese?
It was kind of unlucky because I think they were both frantically clicking on the ground, and he happened to get the cheese, and Mushi happened to get the Aegis, and I think it was a good attempt because if you give up the Aegis, then high ground is really quite easy for Fnatic now, as Mushi has enough items to go high ground. KYXY is playing a Pugna. Like, things just get more and more rough as you have to go for that attempt. Like, you don't want Fnatic just to have a free way to get to the high ground. Like, even if you lose your Tusk twice there, you're okay with it.
And you do have good ways to defend. Between Sonic Wave, Lightning, Call Down, Flat Cannon, Scream, Shards, LC don't make it easy for Fnatic to get up on the high ground, let alone have a creep wave with them once they arrive.
The problem for them, though, is that they're having more difficulties taking down Mushi, and KYXY doesn't even do anything in the fights. Like, he just sits back and heals Mushi non-stop.
Yeah, the Mushi's got a heart. Maybe he can just start healing up Beastmaster or Lion or keeping those guys up.
Yeah, so the high ground attempt is going to come out from Fnatic. There's no reason for them to have to wait. They've got a Desolator, they've got the Pugna Blast. Taking down the tower should be pretty easy. They opt to go for the mid one, though, which has the most HP. I don't really think it matters which one they choose, though. They can go for top.
I think it's time for Pugna to give more mana to Mushi. There's a little bit more to play around with here.
Oh, he just ate a Mango. Oh,
right, he actually
okay.
That is actually the first time I've seen mangoes used like that 45 minutes into a game. Like, so I need mana over in my Weaver. How do I do this? Well, we'll just have a snack before we head into the fight.
So he gets 2 mangoes. Mushi now has not really full mana, but near enough. And
you see what he's trying to do though. Like, push the creep wave up through the mid so then he can just chip out the tier 3 tower on top before fortification can come up or before they realize it.
Yeah, they do have fortification still available for them, and they're just trying to kill the Hawk right now. Oh no, poor Hawk friend.
Got him. Got him.
I'll always remember you. So this mid tower is going to be the target for Fnatic. The stun goes down, but it doesn't hit Mushi.
They still can't. They're still fighting underneath the Nether Ward. Okay, now the Nether Ward's going to go. But it's 2 seconds out and you just got the fortification. That's even a bigger win now for Fnatic.
Yeah, because they use the Orchid too.
Oh, jump in, Walrus Punch. Okay, Mushi does not care. I don't actually even think there's a reason for him to care.
He takes 0 damage there with those.
Yeah. He's still got the Aegis, the Immortal. And KOXY is drained the life out. Now the hookshot comes in from Skylark. Force up gets him out of trouble. Ohio being initiated on by Thug. Is there enough damage? The Ridge with the Sonic Wave. The spill damage coming into KOXY versus Johnny. Madara's going to work here, but Mushi, remember he's your main man. Time lapsing out, needs more time. Stun control. There is the Aegis Immortal. It's about to pop out, and it will do so. The Gyro Cup is on the sidelines. They're all pretty injured. The extra is done on top of Thug. They need the Hex, but the Glimmercade making it difficult to find here. And they're backing out. The new Nether Ward's down. Thug can be careful with his mana usage again. Mushy chasing after him. Shikuchi damage. Just one attack coming in with the Desolator. Ghosted will be able to protect the Lashrak. But you got the buyback in now from Adara. Forced up away from that stun. Has he got enough damage to kill off anyone? Probably not, because Mushy is still going to town. He got the Lashrak. He'll move over the Gyro Cup. In fact, he's killing off the Clockwork first. Time lapse is 4 seconds away. He's out of range of the cold down, but where is he going to move to from here? That's how he does it, with Kerchik getting a huge double stun on LC, and this will be mid-ranks. Fnatic have control. They will take top, and they will take mid here.
And GG is called by London Conspiracy as they realize they're getting a mega creep tier. There's not a whole lot they can do. They're falling a little bit too far behind, but this was not easy for Fnatic. Like, they had to brawl over and over again, team wipe after team wipe, and Fnatic barely managed to take that fight.
And they should still be very, very happy with their performance. LC, they did work really, really hard. If they had something else that could potentially control the Weaver,